Hi everyone, this is Nancy, and today I'm going to talk about monitoring applications with Prometheus and Grafana. Now, since IT systems are a critical component of most business, and we need to ensure that they're always available and working correctly, right? So this talk will give an overview of Prometheus and Grafana, its core features and design principles, and will explain where Prometheus fits into the monitoring system landscape. A little bit about me. I am a software developer at Grofers, India. This is a largest e-commerce grocery selling app. I love to contribute to open source, and I really love to mentor and being with different communities like PyLadies, CNCF, etc. You can find me at GitHub, Twitter, and you can check out my website. So yes, guys, let's make this interactive. Can anyone who are here who already know about Prometheus but they haven't used it? So if you can just reply, like who are here who have just heard about Prometheus but they haven't used it? You can use the chat. Cool. Okay, so this talk will be a bit about bit about beginners, bit about description, bit about the things about Prometheus, and I will try to go to the real world examples which I have experienced and I have used. So yeah, so we have a lot of people who are replying. That's really good. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so why do we need monitoring systems, right? So monitoring systems, we need it for two things. To identify two questions, that is what is broken and why. So your monitoring system should address these two questions, and then it's a good monitoring system, right? So monitoring is for symptom-based alerting. Now, why do we need monitoring? Now we have systems everywhere, right? But for any system to work, we want things to work well. For example, if we have any system, we want that it's always available, it's always fast, it's always correct, it's always efficient. So yes, that is why we require monitoring, right? Now, but in reality, there are complicated distributed systems, and there are lots of challenges. And our main objective becomes to make things look okay outside the world. But deep inside, when we look at the reality, there are a lot of microservices which are dealing with themselves, and we need to monitor. We need to monitor them, right? So, so if we talk about potential problems, we have a lot of software bugs. For example, you're using some shopping app, and your features are not working, right? Then that's the application errors. You're trying to buy some shirt, but you're not able to do it. So that's a software bug. There could be low memory utilization. Now, this is something related to your infrastructure. If, for example, your enterprise use Kubernetes and you have assigned RAM for each container, but technically they are using only 10% or only 5% of the space which you have, the memory which you have allocated. Now that's the unused that unused memory, it cannot be used by other stuff. Now that's a waste, right? There could be high CPU utilization, disk pull. Now that can lead to slow performance. Disk pull, it can happen anytime, right? And you can have network outages. Now these are the potential problems, and we want to know all these problems at a correct time so that we can react when something looks bad. Now, this is what we discussed about, that why we need monitoring, and so now let's discuss about different types of monitoring, right? We now know that what are the problems and how we need to tackle it, but we need to look for the softwares and the techniques which we can use. So we have check-based monitoring, which is a simple polling concept. You basically run a lot of scripts periodically to check the health, right? For example, you're checking the CPU, through polling, through scripts. You're always running the scripts to check the CPU. You're always running the scripts to check whether your application is working, whether you're getting the correct status code. But then it's the simplest way, right? But then it has its own cons. It has its own pros. Now the bad thing about this is it's always going to break down in complex dynamic environment, and it focuses on black box monitoring. What is black box monitoring? It basically focuses if things are running or not, but it is not going to give you the detail inside that what was broken. It's like a black box. You just know that something is going to break or something is broken, but you don't know what caused it. So this is check-based monitoring, and we have examples which I mentioned in the slides. Now the second type of monitoring is logs, events. Now we use logs and events have been used a lot, and in fact we at our Grofers, we also use logs. We use Loki, and logs are always great, right? They record full detail about each event. There's high detail, right? And it's simple to produce it. But what are the cons for this? This is potentially expensive because we have a lot of data, right? For example, you are getting the logs. For example, there are 1 million requests per second. Now you want to log them all. So just imagine how much data it will be. So it's kind of pretty expensive process. And there's also lack of inter-service correlation. It doesn't solve the problem. If you want to correlate different log lines from different services that corresponds to the same request, now this is not going to handle that. The next comes metric and time series. It includes Prometheus, StatsD, InfluxDB. This is what we will discuss more in the presentation today. So this is a simple thing. It's basically tracking the numeric values over time, and it could be number of requests, it could be CPU and etc. We sample them over time and store them as a series of time. Now the pros for this: it is cheap, it is good for aggregate health monitoring, it is simple to produce. But if we talk about cons, it has less detail for debugging. We generally get great detail in logs. So in our organization, we use Prometheus for collecting the metrics and observing the things, but we also use Loki to get the good detail. So this is how you can mix two monitoring systems to get the best of the things. Now the last one is request tracing. This is kind of a buzz nowadays. It tracks single request through entire stack. So that inter-service correlation thing gets solved by request tracing. We have JGAR for that, but this is the cons for this is it's again expensive, having a lot of logs. Now next, moving to what is Prometheus, which we are targeting today. So Prometheus is a monitoring system based on metrics. Metrics-based monitoring and alerting stack. It's the simple two words which we can dedicate to this, and it is well suited for dynamic cloud environments. So let's just go deeper into architecture diagram. This is something which I took from the official documents of Prometheus. Looks a bit complicated, right? But it's okay. So that we have everyone on the same page. Here is a quick simplistic architecture diagram of how Prometheus setup looks. So this is this. So let's assume that there is some instance, right? There is something like Prometheus, and you have different targets. Now then, what are the targets? Targets are the application. Targets are the thing which you want to monitor. Now targets also expose the metrics, just like HTTP endpoints. Now metrics is the current state of application or target which you want to monitor. So we can go back to time and ask application what was the state, right? That is not going to happen. That's why Prometheus is very good in this, because it adds the timestamp to the monitoring data, right? It uses time series database. It is where Prometheus it's a strong option. So yeah, we have everything, but it's not useful until and unless you get notified, right? So we have Alert Manager in Prometheus, and if you want to use that in your organization at enterprise level, you can use PagerDuty, Ops, Jenny, emails, etc. Yes. So yeah. So this is the thing about Prometheus architecture. I think it's kind of clear. Now let's go to the favorite features. These are the favorite features. It's the dimensional data model. It has a powerful query language. Now PromQL is the language which Prometheus understands. It's a simple and efficient server, and the best thing which makes it too powerful is support for service discovery integration. Like you can have console or you can do service discovery with Kubernetes, etc. Now, monitoring your application. This is the main thing which I wanted to cover in today's presentation. What to monitor. Now, if you're talking about monitoring your application, what should you monitor, right? What are you always afraid of? You're always afraid of things getting broken, right? So we need to monitor the request and response statuses. If we are talking about application level of the success or failure, we always want to keep a track of timing of transactions, request and response timings, and we always want to have an application runtime metrics. We want to keep a track of memory, CPU, GC, etc. We also, if we go at networking level, we also networking level or infrastructure level, we always, if your organization works on Docker containers and Kubernetes, then we want them to be monitored, right? We want to have the container metrics. We event counts, number of times something happened, like cache miss, exceptions. So these are the things which I figured it out what we should monitor. Now, these are the things which we discussed, what we should monitor. Now, how to monitor, right? There are different ways depending on what you use, what language you use, what framework you use. And there are different support, right? Prometheus is widely used, it's a buzz. So there is a lot of support, either in the form of libraries or in the form of exporters. So yes. So using your framework support for exporting metrics into Prometheus. Now this is our application, right? And we want to export the metrics which we want to observe into Prometheus. Now there should be some connection between these two things, right? So you can use the framework support. For example, a framework like Spring Boot and Django, they support exporting metrics into Prometheus either out of the box or using some extension. Like in Spring Boot, you have JMX exporter. So things like this, right? For example, I built a project which was around which was a Java project, and it was a Spark framework, and I used Micrometer for exporting my metrics to the Prometheus. So yes, that was a library. You can use Node Exporter to export metrics for your VM. We also want to keep a we also want to look after the Linux VMs or the VMs in general, which we are using. So for that, we have Node Exporter. And yes, identify what metrics you are interested in. Now, this is kind of quite important. This requires a discussion. You need to identify what metrics exactly you want to monitor, right? If you want to monitor the request, the timings, you need to figure out the things, right? Now you need to categorize the data type for the metrics, whether you have to use Gauge, counter, or histogram. Now this is, I feel this is very important. Using a wrong metric type at a place where it shouldn't have been used, it can cause problems, right? For example, if you giving a simple example, these are the metrics of Prometheus, which they understand: Gauge, counter, histogram. Now, for example, if you want to track you want to track the status code, right, of your applications. So you can use counter, right? You can keep a track of all the get, put, post request, and you can track like at what time we are getting the status code, the successful status code, and you can then simply increase the counter, and your Prometheus will understand, okay, the counter is increasing, then that means it's getting successful data. You can keep a counter for a success, you can keep a counter for a failure, and this is how you can modify your code to increase the counter, which Prometheus understands. So you need to write some code to export the metrics. You need to write some code in your application to export the metrics to Prometheus. You need to write some logic. So yes, visualizing. Now, although Prometheus that provides a basic visualization, Grafana is wonderful. It provides a full framework for sharing dashboards and creating advanced queries and graphs. It also allows you to share, right? So simply, if we see this. We can go from this. This is something which we can see on Prometheus. We can go from this to this. Now, this is a very good dashboard, right? Going from this to this is an amazing thing. It's a detailed dashboard, and you can see a lot of information using different metrics, making different queries. So yes, this was the thing. Now, lastly, we require alerting to maintain our SLAs and uptime. We need to protect our applications, and alerting is quite necessary. I had already discussed this, that we can either use Alert Manager, which already comes in Prometheus, or we can use PagerDuty or Opsgenie if we are working at enterprise level. So yes, this is the most amazing part. Okay, we have 5 minutes left. So yes, Prometheus in real world. So considering my organization, we did a really large shift, moving from monolithic applications to microservices. When we did that, we faced a lot of challenges because we deployed our applications on Kubernetes, and we wanted to monitor each services, because when we are because shifting from monolithic to microservice, it's a big change, and you always want to keep an account of how things are working, right? So it was quite important at that place to monitor the microservices. Now, and yeah, so this is one of the real world example. You can have success and failure counters. You can also measure the business metrics like order size average, the A/B testing metrics. So yes, now this is the thing. The next thing is Prometheus as a scraper. Now, Prometheus is simple and leaves features like analysis and long-term storage to extensions, right? Prometheus is a powerful tool. There are some companies which have used Prometheus, which have used some features of Prometheus to build over it, right? So many organizations, they use Prometheus to collect metrics for processing, storing metrics in different systems, such as we have Cortex, we have Uber M3, Thanos. So yes. The lastly, Prometheus exporters. Now, sometimes a service you want to monitor must not be Prometheus ready, right? For this, we use Prometheus exporters to consume metrics from subsystems. So we have StatsD exporter to export metrics from applications which speak the StatsD protocol. JMX, Java standard for monitoring. So exporter for Java services which export metrics like JMX, like Tomcat, Kafka, Old Spring services, etc. Or you can make your own exporter using Prometheus library. For example, in my company, I basically build a Jenkins exporter that read metrics from Jenkins. Now it's really cool, yeah, right? You have your own dashboards in Jenkins, and I can analyze the failure rate of any job, which is critical. For example, we have a deployment job, and we always want to visualize, we always want to monitor that job. So we build a Jenkins exporter using a Python Prometheus library, and we wrote a logic to understand the working of Jenkins. For example, whenever we have a failure rate increasing some threshold, we get notified. Now that was quite helpful to us. We are also thinking of making it open source. I will be working on that, and I will definitely be adding that some importance to it. So yes, this is all about the Prometheus in real world, and we're getting short of time. Okay, so concluding, Prometheus helps you make sense of complex dynamic environments. And thanks to its simplicity, efficiency, the service discovery integration. And yes, so I hope this was clear. We have 2 minutes, we have 1 minute left. So some questions, any questions? Although I know the time left is very less, but we can definitely hang out on Twitter, LinkedIn, mail, anywhere to discuss more about it. I will really love to share my experience and learn from you. So do we have any questions in the chat? Yes, definitely. So the question is, okay, can you share the PPT? Okay, if you scroll up, you will see that. If you scroll up, I have already shared the PPT. Okay, hi Jen. Do you have any recommendation of blogs to read to learn how to write Prometheus queries? I think Jen, I really love reading from documentations, the official documentations. I think Prometheus official documentations are quite nice, quite helpful. I usually refer that for myself. And also I go through different blogs of companies which are extensively using Prometheus. That makes sense. Okay, can Prometheus be integrated with other CI/CD tools like GitHub, GitLab CI tools, Circle CI, etc., in order to have some additional metrics exported, just like with Jenkins? Okay, cool. Johanna, I'm sorry for the pronunciation. Yeah. So I think we must be having. I think yes, we can use that. We just need to scrape the data from GitHub, GitLab. So basically, we just scrape the data from Jenkins, right? So I think we must be having something about GitHub and GitLab CI tools. I'm not sure because I haven't worked with it, but I will definitely get back to you over this on your mail. If you can just drop the mail ID, we can have a cool discussion over this in the chat. Yeah. Okay, cool. Any more questions? Okay, how can we start with it? I think the question starting with it is you have to deep dive into things, right? Into your development, and then you'll get to know, oh shit, the things break, and then you want to monitor the systems. So this is how you will learn. So just make systems, just work into it, and then you'll realize, oh, I need to monitor it also, and then you will realize the importance of it. Yes. Cool. Thank you so much, guys. I think time is over. I think I should stop. So that was all. I hope it was helpful to you all. And let's chat over Twitter or LinkedIn and discuss more and share more. I think we are up with it. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just enjoy.